I'm joined by Mbekezeli Benjamin. He's a researcher at the organization Judges Matter. Mr. Benjamin, thank you very much for your time. Firstly, explain to the viewers what exactly your organization does.
Good morning, Oli, and good morning to the newsroom viewers. What Judges Matter does is to shine the light on the judiciary. We advocate for the transparency of the judiciary. So we monitor quite closely how judges are appointed, how the governance system in the judiciary works, and how judges are disciplined for misconduct. So we try to shed the light on the judiciary so that ordinary South Africans can understand how the judiciary operates and can hopefully hold it accountable to the promises in the Constitution.
Perfect. So that's exactly what your organization does. It monitors the conduct of judges and how they are appointed. You have heard just before our conversation what the opposition parties are saying, some of them at least, in Parliament. The judiciary is under attack at the moment. How should South Africans weigh up whether what is being said is true or false?
I think the comments by the former President Zuma and Mr. Malema are quite concerning, are quite distressing in their in the way that they've placed the comments and in the public way in that they've shared the comments, alleging that judges are being bribed, alleging that judges are not acting improperly and following the law. That's extremely concerning. And how all of us should assess these allegations is in how far they are specific. So, for example, Julius Malema spoke yesterday about certain judges working with certain opposition members or members of a certain political faction. He should, as a responsible politician, if he really cares about the integrity of the judiciary, he should be specific. Which judges are responsible for this? Which bribes? When were these bribes paid? And he should take it up with the relevant authorities, because that is the responsibilities that all of us as citizens have. We have a duty to report where there is impropriety, and we should monitor quite closely that those allegations are investigated up to their logical conclusion. To just make broad statements does not help the situation and actually harms the reputation of the judiciary, which is actually quite fragile.
And you will understand, Mr. Benjamin, that right now it's a tit-for-tat situation within the political environment. So one person is going to make an allegation against a particular judge, and as you rightly say, they should furnish evidence to prove exactly what they are alleging. So, as you say, Julius Malema should give South Africans the evidence that he may have that indeed some judges are taking monies from politicians. But some are also going to say, is it not the responsibility of the president and his CR17 campaign to prove to the public that they did not bribe any judges?
Well, the ordinary rules of justice and the ordinary rules of the law is that he who alleges must prove. Someone can't just make a broad allegation without any specificity, and you have a responsibility to refute that allegation. That's not usually how things operate. So the difficulty with this situation is that he's not. Mr. Malema is not making specific allegations against his political opponent who is involved in the political arena. He is making allegations against judges and the judiciary. Judges and the judiciary are constrained in the way that they can respond. They can't be involved in the political arena. We wouldn't want to see judges be involved in the political arena. So it is crucial that Mr. Malema takes it up with the relevant authorities. One of those authorities is the Judicial Service Commission, which he is a member himself. And he could also take it up with the National Prosecuting Authority. They have an investigating directorate, which has prioritized the law enforcement agencies for investigation. So those allegations could also be included in the investigations of the NPA and the investigating directorate. So it is important that Mr. Malema reports those allegations to the relevant authorities.
And what you've just said is absolutely critical, that judges are constrained in how they ought to respond to accusations that are made against them publicly. And you bring me to my next question, which is the former president, Jacob Zuma. Here is a former head of state leveling the same accusations that some judges are paid to further political interests of some politicians. I'm sure you will say the same, that he has the responsibility to prove that. But the next question I want to include on top of that is whether judges who are being accused of such should actually take him up legally.
Well, if he believes that the allegations are credible, if he has evidence that these allegations there is some truth to them, then if he takes them up with the relevant authority, then the judges cannot really take action against them, because similar to you and I, if we see something wrong and we report it to the police, we don't expect that there'll be repercussions for us. So in the same light, if President Zuma believes that genuinely these allegations exist, there are bribes being paid, and he knows the judges that are being paid, then he should have faith in the authorities that they will investigate them and they will hold those judges accountable. And we should also have faith that those judges will subject themselves to the relevant rules of accountability, and whoever is in the wrong will be held accountable. And if there's no substance to these allegations, then they will be dismissed. But to simply those allegations out publicly without any specificity is not helpful at all.
Final question, Mr. Benjamin. I am out of time, but I've got to put it to you. The former president has taken specific aim at the Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, and he's gone as far as to ask him to recuse himself. You have seen the play on this matter very publicly. The question I want to ask you is exactly what the Deputy Chief Justice has said, Raymond Zondo, that after many years on the bench, the former president becomes the first person to ever ask him to recuse himself. Does the former president have a case here, or is he a man who is so desperate that he is going to accuse any and every person that seeks to try to have him account for what he's alleged to have done?
Well, I think we need to just take a step back and assess these allegations within the wider context. That President Zuma has been called to the State Capture Commission. He has previously offered to come, and later when he realized that they will ask him very pointed question from 40 witnesses who've testified against him, he then started to be reluctant. They've tried, the Constitutional Court even criticized the commission for bending over backwards to accommodate President Zuma. And so now he is just, it seems as if he's now taking the next step, that the legal options seem to be narrowing and they seem to be not delivering what he hopes to achieve, and now he's taking this to the political arena. So a recusal application is ordinarily not a significant thing. It is dealt with. You make allegations against the presiding officer. If there is merit to the recusal, he will recuse himself. If there is no merit, he has an obligation not to recuse himself. And if you are dissatisfied by that, then you take it up with the courts, who will review the decision. And Mr. Zuma has not really taken that step. And so it is quite interesting to now see that he has seen that the relevant process has not achieved the outcome that he desires. And now he's taking it to the political arena, where he knows that a judge like Judge Zondo will not be able to respond to him in a political way or in the nature of politics. So we also have to be quite careful in that the reputation of the judiciary is protected throughout this process.
Mbekezeli Benjamin, thank you very much for your time, a researcher at the organization Judges Matter.